Okay, good morning, and let's make sure that I'm recording and I'm broadcasting. So, good morning, and welcome to This Week in Phenomenal-ness. I hope you all had a great week. And first, let's just kind of sit down and get centered and, feel like you're all settled in for a couple of minutes of dialing in to start our week. I like to look at Fridays as the week of starting anew. Although it's the start of a weekend, I think that's a good way for us to kind of like start anew, is get that rejuvenating energy in and, really just let go first, right? So we need to let go. So, okay, so let's start with the whole idea of closing your eyes and opening your heart and placing your third eye, your tisser till, whatever you want to call it, the area between your two eyebrows. I just want you to kind of focus on that. And I just want you to think of something that you love, and I want you to just take a deep breath in. Just blow it out. And just blow out all that positive love from that thing that you love. Just blow it out into the universe all around you. Just enjoy, or take over that space around you. Just kind of move out all that stuff from the week. So, okay, so last week was pretty, or this last week was pretty cool. Last week's live cast and a recap was really about looking at the idea of perfectionism and what it means to you, and what how you treat yourself because of that idea of perfectionism that you have in your head, as well as fear, and looking at fear and how fear affects us. And how it affects it gives those limiting beliefs, and it affects our daily lives by you know, limiting beliefs. And then the idea of setbacks and how we kind of take the ebb and flow of setbacks, and do we make it a setback that is like hindering us, or do we make it a setback that we can actually roll with and adjust to. Again, that ebb and flow. So, you know, and then obviously the other thing was Debbie Ford, which is the best years of our life, and it was about singing our praises. So really, it was about singing our praises and taking the perfectionism, the fear, and the setbacks, and kind of playing with those as we sang our praises this week. And it was kind of cool, because I feel like every other week we get a happy week, and the week in between that is really like a real like deep week. So this week really brought forth some interesting things. One thing was, and I actually posted it on the Facebook wall. I went into the grocery. I think it was Monday or Sunday. I went into the grocery on Sunday, and there was this lady standing in line with me, and she looked like she was like pretty weathered. And I had just gotten out of the car, and I was singing a Whitney Houston song, and I was like feeling all happy, and I was in the grocery store line, and I really didn't care who was around me, and even though Joe was with me, and he was kind of laughing at me, and I started singing, and I was just really happy, and she looked at me, and I obviously she could feel the energy, and she was like, wow, are you like this all the time? And I was like, yeah, I'm like this all the time. Or I make a point to be conscious of being like this as much as often. And I really just saw the trickle down effect, because other people started turning their heads, and little baby was looking at me and smiling, and before I knew it, the whole vibration in the line kind of raised. And where we had kind of been stuck in the line, and the teller was busy with somebody, all of a sudden the line started to open up, and things started to move, and I saw all the other lines kind of waiting as I looked down the rows of the grocery store, and our rows just started moving, and there just seemed to be like a lightness. And that whole idea of singing our praises really isn't just for us. It really actually is for the benefit of others. And I really didn't get that, and I kind of was thinking, I didn't get that at first, and after reading the whole thing about singing your praises, you know the first thought in my mind, of course, was like, how does the ego not get involved in that, and how do I not make it like all about me? um, and I didn't really know where to go with that, and so I just kind of sang my praises. uh, but not for the sake of like, oh, I'm perfect, or I'm the best, or I'm this. She just asked me a question, and I was honest. And I shared that quality that I don't generally share with people, you know, of just admitting that this is who I am, and this is what I like to be, and make a conscious effort about it. And The other thing that kind of came up for me this week in the whole idea of sharing or singing our praises, like I went on an interview this week, and I think it was more so just to like keep the energy moving. You know, as a startup, it's always important to make sure that all streams of revenue are like open and that you're not like limiting yourself in any way. And again, looking at like that fear and, you know, oh my gosh, I have to be perfect in my business and I have to be perfect. Um, and the whole idea of setbacks, and obviously it's been financially an interesting time for myself and my partner, and so it was, you know, I went for this interview, and at this interview, I just actually finished taping the whole singing your praises, and you know, looking at all the perfectionism and fear and setbacks, and I sat down in front of this person who really just wanted to like tear me apart, and I feel like my cup was actually full because I had just come from taping this whole like experience, or like the whole setting forth the week. So it was really, I really just kept in my mind reminding myself that it just, you know, he's obviously interviewing you about you. So share who you are, and you know, either way, it's about sharing who you are and it'll have some kind of effect. Well, it was interesting because I'm not sure that it had the effect that the whole idea of singing your praises has on someone. It was like this person was just really there to dig me apart and not receive what was coming at him and only listen to what they wanted to listen to and make a box out of it. So I'd love to hear what your experiences were with singing your praises this week. I had like a really positive one, and then I had like, obviously it was positive, but it was weird. And I looked at him at the end of the interview and I was like, okay, that was the strangest interview I've ever had. And generally, I wouldn't say that. And obviously, I didn't get a call back, which is totally fine because I don't think I would have ever considered working there beyond that. But it was definitely super interesting. So, if you had any experiences with singing your praises and like really like looking at all of those things, I think that what came up for me in that experience was a level of like fear and do I need to show them that I'm perfect. Um, so yeah, I just would love to know what your experience was. Um, and don't forget, I always get into like talking right away and forget to remind you that you can tweet me at Phoenix Gonzalez. You can Ustream if you're on the Ustream. Or you can text me, because many of you who are watching are my friends, so you know my number. If you have questions, you want to share your experiences, maybe you want to jump on the phone and I can talk with you while we're doing this, please let me know. I'll share your experience here. Yeah, let's kind of just move on. So, you know, moving forward this week, I really just wanted to kind of take a look at the whole idea of like assessing our values and asking the age old question of we ask ourselves why, and really kind of like flipping the head on the whole idea of the why. So first let me just kind of like give you my thoughts on like assessing our values. So it's really important. So take a look and consider whether the task at hand aligns with your values. So it's basically whatever tasks you have going on in your life right now, do they align with your values? And to figure out your values, let's look at the whole idea of like, what do you want to see yourself or like how do you want to see yourself in the world today? So, you know, with those values and aligning yourself, how do you want to see yourself in the world today? I want to see myself, first comes up obviously because it's a work day, is business, and so successful. I want to see myself in the world today as successful. So I really want to have a successful day. Um, and then the second thing is I want to be seen as loving and sharing my, you know, sharing the best parts of me. So I mean, that's how I want to see myself in the world today. Um, and another way to think of it is to mull over what accomplishments, or actually another way to think of this is to mull over what accomplishing the task would give you. What would it give you? And that's, you know, a good question to ask ourselves. And even more than having accomplished it by yourself. So another way to think of the whole idea of assessing our values is to mull over what accomplishing the tasks that you're setting out for yourself would give you. And even more than that, what it would mean by accomplishing these goals. So, just kind of write them down today. Look at the whole idea of assessing your values, and obviously it's still about, I kind of keep tying back in the whole idea of goals, because I really feel like life is about setting forth goals, and it's really about tangible ones. So, it's really looking at that and asking yourself, even more than just, what accomplishing the goal would give you. It's like, it's even more important to have accomplished it, and before you even, yeah, it's even more important to just have accomplished it, and feel the gratitude. My partner was saying to me this week, sometimes we work so hard, and when we have these little wins, we don't take the time to like settle in it. And settling in that energy actually gives us the opportunity to really set forth that energy, so we can like build on that. When we just move on to the next thing without sitting and stopping and being like, wow, I did a good job, I had a great outcome, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to use that energy to catapult into more things. So, the second thing I just wanted to look at is that age-old question of like, why? It's like when you're a kid, you ask why all the time. Life is about exploring and about asking these strange questions, and a dream just comes up for me as I'm saying that. So, the whole idea of like, you know, we're experts at rationalizing why we don't do things or why we didn't do something. But instead of focusing on excuses, let's ask ourselves another why. So let's kind of like flip the whole why on its head. And why is the task important to us? And does it matter whether you created the task or somebody else created it for you? Um, I think the larger thing is to look at is connect with the larger reason of why you're doing this. And there was a story that I read the other day. It's about a woman who um she always procrastinated on like the non creative things in her business, like billing, which I'm probably guilty of. And when she asked herself the why question of why it was in, that she was doing this, the whole idea of billing became financial security for her and her family. So the thing that she was like kind of procrastinating on and asking, like ignoring and asking herself why, when she really flipped it on its head and looked at the positive of why, she really got the whole idea that setting forth that goal, accomplishing that task and not procrastinating about it actually was giving her and her family security or financial security. So I just encourage you to, try that this week, as you walk out into your world of success, and you are the CEO of you are, or I am, you are, we are together. I am me and you are you. That's that Jennifer Hudson song with Weight Watchers, right? Believe in yourself. This week I'm gonna pull out a card, and let's just before this past week I really like used the whole idea of intention and set forth. I'm working on this wellness book. That's an ebook, and if anybody wants it, just shoot me an email or let me know on Facebook. So that's like something else that it's been really interesting, because one of the things that she talks about in the wellness book, and kind of getting past the blocks, is the whole idea of like setting forth an intention before you actually pick up the phone, before you send an email, before you do anything. So I'm really setting forth an intention that we welcome in something this week that really kind of blows out all the cobwebs, and gives us a whole other perspective. So I have this in my hand and I'm holding on to it, and I'm just going to pull it out here. Obviously it's from the best years of our life, and I'll obviously share that again because Debbie Ford rocks. Best years of our life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this week, ooh, risk. What is it all about? Let's find out. So to move forward powerfully and achieve quantum results, sweet, we have to take risks. I am all about the risks. So we must be willing to look at the ways we keep ourselves small and confront the resistance we have to entering the unknown. In other words, we have to do something different. Attaining the next level of success, right? Blowing out the cobwebs, fulfillment, intimacy, or passion requires us to face our fears and risk appearing foolish, making mistakes, or asking for help. Remember the old saying, Of course, you have to go out on a limb sometimes. That's where the fruit is. Yeah, well. If you tend to talk yourself out of taking risks because what you're doing is scary, just think of the alternative. You could continue to create the same predictable results. I am loving this because I felt like I just needed to like step it up a little bit. So I'm going to take some major risks this week, and I can't wait to share. So the assignment for this week, first it says so your self-love assignment this week. So in taking risks, hooty hoo. This week, identify one place in your life where you're not getting the results you desired. Maybe it's in your career, in your family, in your health, or your intimate relationships. Allow yourself to see the approaches you've used to try to achieve your desired result. Now, write down 3 actions you would take that would be outside your usual comfort zone that would produce quantum results. I love it. For example, you could ask someone for help. Do you need to hire a coach or put a structure of accountability together or in place? Finally, approach 3 people this week whose opinions you respect and ask them how they'd go about achieving your goal. Remember, breakthrough results occur when you're willing to give up the old and embrace the new. This week, exercise your risk-taking muscle. I'm such an ass. But yeah, so I think that that's kind of cool because I'm totally ready to like blow out the next level of cobwebs in this whole road to success and being the CEO of I Am, on top of obviously being the CEO of or not the CEO, but being, a co-founder of a company. I just really want to like take some risks and like not be apologetic about it and just, see what happens. Cuz you can only go up if you set forth that energy and that intention and that positive flow. Nothing is ever in vain. It always has like a positive effect. So on our road with the 3 viewers, I didn't even clue into that this whole time. Hi, 3 viewers. I know who 1 of you are. I might know who 2 of you are, and maybe 3. But whatever the case is, you guys rock. For getting up and checking this out this morning. So go out this week, assess your values, ask yourself why, and just take some risks because this life is about not playing it safe. So let's just, close up that energy now and, bring it in and bring it back into our heart center and, that middle chakra and just, go out into the world and be the phenomenal woman that you are, the phenomenal girl. And I don't know if I've ever actually explained that. So phenomenal girl derives from the whole idea that every woman has one inside screaming to get out. Because at the end of the day, it's like, we're all little kids inside still. And we really just want to like have fun and be in wonderment and love life. So really, phenomenal girl is about every woman has one inside screaming to get out and just to like enjoy life and not lose the value of being in wonderment and being a child whenever you want to be. So it's just take a deep breath, place your attention on all the things or one of the true things that you love. Put your attention on the area between your 2 eyebrows and just kind of look there, saw it gently, and just take a deep breath in. Just let it out and go out and rock. Have a great week. Have a super fantastic and phenomenal weekend. And this week in Phenomenal-ness Part 6 has come to an end, and I really appreciate you for watching. So, peace out. Believe in yourself. Okay? I promise.